our spokesperson for the State Department absolutely refusing to say they condemn the murder of children, which I feel like is an easy thing to
It depends on which children, Lee. If it was Ukrainian children, absolutely.
That they would condemn. I think you're right.
On the principle of why is it so difficult for this government to say we condemn the killing of children, Palestinian women and children? Why can't you say the word condemn?
We do. If you listen to what I said,
he cut off himself as he said we do, because he can't say he can't say we do condemn it. So he's like, we do, and then he shifts it
a moment ago.
Hold
on. Please don't interrupt me.
Yeah.
I said far too many Palestinians have died.
That's not condemning the murder of children.
That's just like stating a fact.
And also passive voice. How'd they die?
Yeah.
We don't know.
Thousands of Palestinian children have died, and it is
have died again. They just died. Maybe it was gangrene.
A tragedy when one of them dies. Of course, we don't want to see a single child die.
Just not saying the
Still
thing.
Can't say it. Still put it into this vague, children are a beautiful thing, and we like to see them. I always like when a child comes up to me. You're not condemning the murder of children by Israel.
We don't want to see anyone die as a result of this conflict, which is why we have been working to bring this conflict to a close as soon as possible.
Sure.
You want to field that one?
The absolute fucking opposite.
I'll let you field that.
You've been supplying Israel with weapons, literally like this October 7th till maybe late October is how long Israel could have carpet bombed Gaza were it not for the material support of the United States, not to mention the monetary support, and of course then the support in an international space. If the US wasn't sitting there vetoing every damn attempt at a ceasefire, then the rest of the world would basically be unanimous in being like, hey y'all, this is not cool and it should stop. But because of the US standing in the way, that hasn't been able to move forward. And I mean, it would be laughable if it wasn't so disgusting. Speaking of stampedes, I would love it if this State Department spokesperson died in a stampede of like wildebeest. Do we still have wildebeest or did we kill them all? I would love to see this guy just placed on a little podium in the middle of an open area, and then just a bunch of wildebeests, just rabid wildebeests, released, and just watch him trip. That'd be good television.
I can't disagree with that, and I think if that were your platform, you'd probably win minimum a seat in the Senate.
That is my platform.
Minimum a seat in the Senate, but of course they're not trying to bring it to a close in just about any way. And the example I used the other day is it'd be like if there was a mass shooter at a shopping mall, and I gave him the gun and the ammunition, and he's doing it for hours, and news media shows up, and I'm standing outside going, I am very opposed to this, and I'm trying to end it, and then turning around and handing him more ammo. You need a little more? Here you go. Here you go. No, I really am. I really would like to see this stop. What caliber was that? Okay, here you go. I mean, that's how insane this is.
I would just like to point out that the people sitting in this room, like Saeed, like I continue to be amazed at their ability to stay calm.
And not just
because if it were me, I would have bum rushed the podium by now and just started like beating him with his own shoes. Like I wouldn't be able
throw shoes like the guy did at Bush.
No, that was nice. I would be beating him with his own shoes. I'd take off his shoes and I'd beat him with them. Like I don't understand how you could just sit there. Like the amount of control, I'm really in awe of it, I have to say.
It's possible they're chained to the chairs, but I'm not certain.
Whenever you ask me these questions, I do think you continue to kind of just elide over the fact that Hamas bears.
Here we go.
Just gonna glide over the fact that I won't fucking answer them, but yeah.
The fact that Hamas bears a great deal of responsibility for putting those children in harm's way. Remember, it was Hamas that launched this war in the first place.
Did Hamas launch this war in the first place, or was there something going on before October 7th? Even if you're opposed to what went down on October 7th, did it come out of the blue? Was it completely unprovoked?
It's kind of like saying that the underground networks in France and Belgium during World War II, where they went out and killed Nazis, it's kind of like saying it's their fault, right? But they wouldn't exist if Nazis didn't exist. So it's like Hamas would not exist if the occupation did not exist.
And if the prison didn't exist. Yeah.
Well, right, but Hamas was like is relatively recent in the 75 plus year history of the occupation of Palestinian territories. So it's like blaming them is, again, it's like blaming the fighters who went and killed Nazis. And here's the thing. I'm not saying this because, oh, I absolutely agree with Hamas on everything, but that's not the point here. You have to look at where like the origin story of these organizations, like the Intifada. Would there have been an Intifada were there not an occupation? It's like, use your fucking head. Like, these groups and these actions wouldn't exist if there weren't something to violently resist, which is the violence of 80 years of occupation.
Yeah, and if they didn't have to watch their kids die of starvation, die of unclean water, which is the #1 killer in the world, yeah, it's all of those things put together is what led to October 7th. So this conflict did not begin October 7th.
Someone just put in the chat, I blame Putin. You know what? I agree. Let's just always blame Russia.
And don't forget Iran.
And Cuba. Cuba definitely had something to do with it.
With an attack on Israel that killed men, women, and children, and that Hamas that hid and continues to hide behind children is human shields.
Oh,
so yes,
the human shields thing, I mean, I've debunked it multiple times, but it is a racist view in general, just to say, oh, they're in their population, then that's human shields. But Israelis, as if there aren't Israeli military throughout Israeli society. In fact, almost everybody in Israel has served in the military, been in the military at some point. Therefore, do they not live among children? Do they not live among elderly? The Israeli military is within the society there. They're using their elderly and their babies as human shields is what Israel's doing.
Why isn't there a dummy behind him? I'm like...
You don't need one. It'd be redundant.
Well, that's true. But I feel like it would be more visually appropriate for this situation.
Now, I do feel that whoever's hand is up his ass should be changed, and someone else needs to.
We do not want to see any child die. We don't want to see any innocent civilians die, which is why we are working so hard to try to achieve a temporary ceasefire that would alleviate their suffering.
Temporary.
Temporary, not even full, just temporary. We want to stop the bombing of children, and then they can re-up it later.
I have not heard the word condemn. I mean, this war began way before October 7th. I mean, in fact, the reason that this administration was so strong on, pursuing a Middle East peace and so on, because the war has been going on for decades before and so on. We heard this administration when they came into office talking about reopening the consulate, talking about reopening the PLO office here, talking about restarting and reigniting peace talks and so on, re-aiding UNRWA and so on, simply because that war has been going on for a very long time, because Gaza was under siege for a very, very long time.
Saeed, nothing that happened before October 7th justifies what Hamas did.
He didn't. Nothing Saeed said justified it. He said it was going on beforehand. Yeah, but that's a fake argument to make. He doesn't want to admit that this war was going on long before October 7th. So instead he says you're justifying. No, he didn't justify it. He didn't say it's fine now.
And it is what Hamas did on that day that led to the outbreak of this war and led to the suffering of so many innocent Palestinians.
Actually, Israel was killing children before that, just not at this speed.
I just feel it's important to correct that fact.
That's fine.
Anyway, that's basically the end of it. But yeah, I mean, thank goodness there's, like you said, thank goodness there's someone like Saeed to actually be there posing those questions. But